Salud guys, my name is Dave Mate and I'm from circleofdrink.com, and today we are talking about adaptogens. Now, I'm going to begin by discussing what adaptogens are, then I'm going to lead into why I believe that mate is also an adaptogenic herb, and discussing some of the compounds that are particular to mate called saponins. So let us begin. Adaptogens are groupings of chemicals and compounds, but more specifically they are really single whole herbs. Very special herbs. Herbs and plants that have been able to adapt and survive and thrive during extremely harsh conditions, such as very arid climates, very cold, sub-zero freezing climates, very humid climates, climates without a lot of water, climates with too much water, climates that have just been very, very difficult to sustain life. Scientists have grouped a particular classification of plants known as adaptogens that have been able to successfully adapt to their environments. Why is this, and how are these plants able to do this? Well, these plants contain not only high amounts of antioxidants, but they contain something that scientists are now calling adaptive energy. They have the ability, or rather even the intelligence, to adapt to any situation that they're in. Now, to generalize, plants have two groupings of chemicals. They have terpenes and they have polyphenols. Now, the polyphenols encompass other groups of chemicals called flavonoids. Now, flavonoids account for the plant's antioxidant capacity, the plant's antioxidant capabilities. It also accounts for the plant's nutritive abilities to help heal the body, to provide nutrients and chemicals, and to scavenge free radicals. Free radicals are those molecules that are not stable in the body, and they actually produce many diseases. They are at the backbone of all disease in the body. Now, on the other end, you have terpenes, these sort of secondary metabolites. These are responsible for the plant's adaptive energy. These are responsible for the plant's ability to bring back homeostasis and normalize physiological deviations in the body. Okay, so I think you get the idea. Adaptogens are plants that are literally able to adapt to their environments. They have certain compounds and chemicals that help them muster up the force to just thrive and survive. Now, as you will soon see, this sort of adaptive energy that's inherent in the plants can, and in many cases does, translate into beneficial, powerful effects in our physiology, in our body. Now, in order for a plant to be categorized an adaptogen, it must meet three criteria. Let us begin. The first one is that the plant must be non-toxic. Okay? It cannot produce any sort of toxic situations in your body. It cannot have any sort of adverse health effects. It cannot sort of overly stimulate your body or overly suppress your body. It must be non-toxic. That's number one. Number two, the plant must exhibit a normalizing influence on the body, on your own physiology. So essentially, an adaptogen must bring your body back to homeostasis. It must have a normalizing effect on your body, not on any particular constituent of the body, but the entire body as one whole unit. Now, number three, the plant must have a normalizing effect on your physiology, irrespective of the direction of change from physiological norms caused by the stressors. Now, what does that mean? Essentially, that means that the plant is bidirectional. So, say you have high blood pressure. If you consume an adaptogenic herb, the herb is not going to necessarily just target the high blood pressure. No. It's going to look at the body as one whole cohesive unit. So the adaptogen may increase something else in the body in order to decrease the high blood pressure, or may decrease something in order to increase something else, and this may happen simultaneously. This is why so many scientists consider, as well as myself, a researcher into the matter, adaptogens to have intelligence. You guys have seen my videos for years. I've been calling mate magical. That's the word I've been using because there really is no better word than magical or simply intelligent. adaptogenic herbs seem to think. You know, this kind of goes into metaphysics, consciousness, prana, Hinduism, Buddhism. I don't want to go into that, but it all relates here. Plants have consciousness, and adaptogenic herbs, simply put, I believe, is nature's masterpiece. So, just to recap, adaptogenic herbs are non-specific. They don't go after any specific ailment in the body. They look at the body as a whole. They are non-toxic. They don't create any sort of toxicity in the body, and they have a normalizing effect in the body. Bring the body back to homeostasis and does what needs to be done at any given time. So what do adaptogens actually do to bring about this normalizing effect in your body? Well, essentially, adaptogens help you deal with stress. Now, when I use this word stress, I'm not just talking about physical stress. I'm talking about emotional stress as well. So there are many factors to health. There's physical factors, what's going on physically with your body, or the physical actions that you are doing throughout your day. What's going on emotionally, how you feel, how you think, your psychology. Also, spiritually, are you being fulfilled? Are you content? Are you happy? Also, last but not least, environmental factors. These environmental factors include what's going on in your community, what's going on in your home with your family, what's going on with the physical environment, the weather, where you live. These are sort of external environmental factors. Now, adaptogens build your body. They essentially allow your body to create this sort of adaptive energy, which scientists are calling it, that help you deal with any sort of stress that comes your way, whether it be physiological stress, emotional stress, spiritual stress, what have you, any sort of stress. So one thing that I noticed after drinking mate for 5 years now is that I just feel more capable of dealing with situations. You know, maybe if I broke a glass and it shattered, my first response really wouldn't be to get angry. It would just more to be like, okay, breathe it out. And I noticed this sort of energy building up more and more and more as I continue to drink yerba mate. Later on in this video, we'll get into why I believe yerba mate is an adaptogenic herb. Suffice it to say, I just feel more in control of my body now, more in control of my mind. Those of you that have been drinking yerba mate for quite some time, you probably can relate to what I'm speaking about right now. Mate just helps my mood. It helps me feel more even keel. Just really brings about a feeling of euphoria. Now, briefly, just a little bit of history on herbs throughout the world, herbs being used throughout the world. Essentially, herbs have been used as medicinal purposes for, as far as we know, 5,000 years at least. Probably much longer than that. But as far as we know through written history, herbs have been used to help heal the body, help heal the mind for, let's say, a good 5,000 years now. Japan has been using it for a long time. They still continue to use it. Herbal remedies, India, China, Tibet, all over the world. Interestingly, United States of America is not as high as the other countries are in terms of opening up and really leveraging these adaptogenic herbs. Right now in Japan, they use the most medicine derived from herbs per capita anywhere else in the world. India, about 70% of all the medicine they issue is either directly from herbs or derivatives of these adaptogenic herbs. So all over the world, they're using adaptogenic herbs to heal the people, to heal the bodies, to heal the minds. Now, this is where it gets pretty interesting. Scientists have identified a common denominator in adaptogenic herbs. What is that common denominator? And this also leads into yerba mate. That common denominator is saponins. Most adaptogenic herbs, perhaps all of them, contain a good amount of saponins. What are saponins? Saponins are essentially chemicals. They're these compounds that account for a plant's bitter taste. With yerba mate, saponins are responsible for that sort of foaminess that you see fizzing on top of the gourd if you drink from a gourd, or that layer of foam that you see in the teapot or the French press when you're preparing mate with those methods. Saponins are at the forefront of these plants' ability to combat disease, to combat harsh environment conditions, to combat external stressors from insects, bacteria, viruses, what have you. These saponins are essentially adaptogenic. Now, yes, saponins are compounds, but you could also look at saponins as the whole herb. Herbs that contain high levels of saponins, those are the saponins. The whole entire herb are the saponins. Because remember, guys, compounds and these sort of phytochemicals do not work in a vacuum. This is what we need to understand. Chemicals do not work in a vacuum. When you take a compound out of a plant, isolate it, take it away from all of its family members, all of its other minerals and, compounds, chemicals, antioxidants, what have you, terpenes, lipids, cholesterol, what all these other chemicals are, you take it out of that and you isolate it. Yes, it may have some beneficial effects. It may help temporarily bring some ease in your body, but it's not always the best method to take. You have to look at a plant the way that it was designed by nature. Nature designed the plant perfect as it is, with all the compounds that it needs, all the chemicals that it needs. So when you start to isolate things, things go haywire sometimes, and the physical body, your physiology, doesn't really know how to respond. It's more like you're just telling your body what to do when you isolate these alkaloids and isolate these compounds and just telling it what to do. The body doesn't like that. The body is not one directional. It doesn't want this sort of very specific response to a disease. The body wants to heal holistically. The body has all the mechanisms that it needs to heal itself. That's why I consider adaptogens nature's masterpiece. Because anytime you consume adaptogenic herbs, you are essentially creating a system in your body that is like a key that doesn't turn any particular organ or any particular cancer or ailment that you have or any particular body grouping. It acts as a key that just turns your entire body. It turns your entire mind. It turns your entire system, your immunological system, and it just helps it to create this adaptive energy, and it stores it. That's what's so interesting about it. Your body stores this adaptive energy, and it uses it when it needs to be used. So as you continue to drink this non-toxic adaptogenic herb, whether it be yerba mate, astragalus, what have you, whatever it is, your body's building up a reserve. That's why a lot of scientists will tell you to continue to drink adaptogenic herbs. There's no harm in doing so because your body's building up that adaptive energy that it's going to need. Now, to get back into the saponins, saponins are at the heart of more or less all adaptogenic herbs. So there are many health benefits of adaptogenic herbs, and there's many health benefits of saponins, but I'm just going to group them all together because essentially all adaptogens have saponins. So I think it's pretty safe to put them all together. Now, what are some of the health benefits of saponins that are found in mate? Mate contains 5 specific saponins called mate saponins 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. More specifically, these are triterpenoid saponins. Okay, I'm not going to go into that, but let's just call them saponins for now. Saponins have many, many health benefits. Okay, they actually help lower bad cholesterol. They have anti-cancer effects. They are mood enhancing. They are antifungal, antimicrobial, antiviral. They help build your immune system. So the immune system is made up of many, 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 many parts. Okay, T cells, B cells, natural killer cells, cells that target cancerous cells, lymphocytes, macrophages, all sorts of cells that are a part of your immune system. The great thing about adaptogens is that they help build these cells. They help build the cells that increase your body's vitality. They help build the cells that destroy cancer cells. They help build the cells that destroy viruses and bacteria and all sorts of pathogens that could help suppress your system. Adaptogens are also chemoprotective. So if you're getting chemotherapy, if you have cancer, it could help protect your body from that sort of therapy. Adaptogens are hepatoprotective. They help improve your liver functioning, help detoxify your body. They are hormone modulating. So if you're depressed, perhaps adaptogens could help you. If you have, some sort of issue that makes you stressed out all day, or you can't sleep, these things are all related to your hormones and to your neuroendocrine system. Adaptogens help these systems normalize. Many times people have told me that they had problems sleeping. Adaptogenic herbs help them sleep. Many times people have told me that they had problems not having enough energy, especially in the morning. Well, adaptogenic herbs, in particular yerba mate, has helped them wake up in the morning. So, there are many herbs out there in the world. Many, many great herbs. And there's one thing that we need to understand that I think that we are confused many times when we think about antioxidants. Now, yes, antioxidants are great. They're beautiful, powerful things. Vegetables that have them, fruits that have them, essentially all plant matter has antioxidants, except some have more than others. Now, when we read, different books, or we watch television shows, or learn different things about medicine and herbs, we're always talking about antioxidants. Antioxidant this herb has antioxidants, that herb has antioxidants, cacao, maca, all these things, green tea. But we need to understand that it's not enough. It's not enough for an herb to have antioxidants. Okay? Antioxidants are great, but how are these antioxidants working with any particular herb is a question that's, I think, more important than whether or not an herb has antioxidants or not. Okay? So for instance, an herb like green tea or bilberry, these herbs have high levels of antioxidants, but are they adaptogenic? Most likely not. Because having antioxidants is great. You're going to fight the free radicals, you're going to target free radicals, you're going to help bring about great normalizing effects in your body, but can you safely consume these things as much as you want? Are they going to work on the body in a non-specific way? Are they going to build adaptive energy in your body? Perhaps not. Adaptogenic herbs will do that. So you really want to, when you're consuming herbs, you really want to find the crossroad between an herb having high levels of antioxidants, but also having adaptive energy. Right in the X, the center, lies that sweet spot of health. Now, here's my claim, here's my argument, here's my song for yerba mate. Why do I believe that yerba mate is an adaptogenic herb? Now, just a disclaimer, this video is just for educational purposes. Please consult your medical care practitioner if you have any questions about consuming any herbs or anything that I speak about throughout this video. Now, the reason I believe that yerba mate is an adaptogenic herb, number one, through my own personal case studies that I've been conducting for 5 years now. Now, people have been sending me, let's call them non-solicited information about what yerba mate has been doing for them over the past 5 years since I've been involved with yerba mate. And I've heard so many great things about yerba mate. People who had problems sleeping, they sleep like a baby. People who had no energy, now they have energy. People who were depressed, they seem to have their depression eased, or in some cases totally normalized. People who had high blood pressure, it lowered it. People who had low blood pressure, it highered it. People who were having muscle spasms, it helped calm and ease their muscle spasms. People who were suffering from, different sorts of surgeries that they had had, mate helped improve the recovery time. I could just go on and on and on, but suffice it to say, mate has fulfilled all three criterion for being an adaptogenic herb. Why haven't scientists explicitly declared it as one? I don't know. Simply because there hasn't been a lot of research coming out of South America from the herbs of the Pampas, from the herbs of that large span, that large region that spans across Argentina, Paraguay, Brazil, and Uruguay. There just hasn't been a lot of research done. I believe that mate is going to be at the forefront of adaptogenic herbs coming out of South America over the next 5 to 10 years as the research continues. So mate, number one, is not toxic. People have been drinking it all day long for their entire lives in South America, and they will attest that it's just not toxic. It doesn't do anything that harms the body, helps the body. Number two, it has a normalizing effect on your physiology. So like I said, if you have an issue going on in your body, mate may help just bring it back into safe range, may help bring it back to normality. Number three, mate does not act in any single direction. It's bidirectional. It doesn't just focus on any particular disease. It actually works in many directions. It helps bring the body back to homeostasis by normalizing the entire system, the entire body as one unit. It doesn't just go after one thing in the body that's wrong. It normalizes all things by working on all things simultaneously. Mate fits every single scientist's criterion for being an adaptogenic herb. Alright guys, so just to recap, I hope you learned something today about adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs are herbs that are able to adapt to their environment. They are able to survive in harsh conditions because they have high levels of antioxidants, and they have this adaptive energy that allows them to basically muster up the power to survive and thrive in harsh conditions. Now, these chemicals and compounds that allow the plants to survive also help our own bodies to survive and thrive and to adapt to different stressors, biological stressors, physiological stressors, emotional stressors, environmental stressors. So adaptogens allow our body to fight stress, allow our body to build up resistance to disease, to viruses, to bacteria. It helps bring about a normalizing effect on our body, bring our bodies back to homeostasis. A little bit of history recap. Many herbs have been used, these adaptogenic herbs, for 5,000 years now in written history. They're used still to this day. Japan, India, even here in the United States, Russia, many parts of Europe, they rely heavily on adaptogenic herbs to help heal the body in a holistic manner. I spoke about why I believe yerba mate is an adaptogenic herb. Yerba mate helps heal the body, helps normalize the body, helps bring about a feeling of euphoria, and helps to treat the body in a holistic fashion. So guys, today was our introductory talk on adaptogenic herbs, and I connected mate to being an adaptogenic herb, and I paid special attention to saponins, certain compounds that are found in all adaptogenic herbs. And yerba mate contains 5 saponins called mate saponins 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These saponins account for mate's powerhouse ability to lower cholesterol, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, improve the immune system, improve the neuroendocrine system, to help detoxify your body, hepatoprotective, increase liver functioning, increase memory, help the skin shine, and just help heal and normalize your body irrespective of what's going on in your body in a bi-directional fashion, in a way where it's not just going after one thing or doing one particular thing, but it's working on many systems, increasing and decreasing many systems simultaneously. This is what bi-directional is. So I implore you to look more into yerba mate and the entire family of adaptogenic herbs, which is, let's say, a few hundred right now that have been identified. And if you want to learn more about yerba mate, please visit my website at www.circleofdrink.com, where there's just a plethora of information, things that people have written in, different articles we've written, educational information that you could sit down and just read about yerba mate. Then I hope you actually go ahead and order some and try some out for yourself and let me know how you feel. It's been helping many people for a long time now. Myself in particular, I've been drinking it for 5 years now. I feel great. And you could go on to facebook.com, type in Circle of Drink, and join any one of our groups and just jump into the conversation, ask questions, see if what I'm talking about is really correct and really true. Go ahead and ask anybody that's involved with Circle of Drink, our organization. And I believe that they'll tell you the same thing, that mate is an adaptogenic herb. And I look forward to the growing pharmacopoeia of yerba mate. I implore all scientists and doctors, particularly out of South America, to begin to look at yerba mate's adaptogenic properties, to begin further studying of mate saponins 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And of course, I'm very interested in how chlorogenic acid in combination with mate saponins, in combination with all the other powerful nutrients in yerba mate, help to constitute mate as an adaptogenic herb on a scientific level. I love to see some more reports on that. So my name is Dave Mate. Again, check me out at circleofdrink.com. It's been a pleasure talking about saponins with you guys and adaptogenic herbs. I hope you start consuming some yourself. All right, guys, my name's Dave Mate. Thanks again. Let me find my gourd so I can give you guys a salute. Peace. Salud.